Hello Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen and this is my fiber web. Today is August 14th. It is Wednesday. My kids went back to school today and I just got the toddler down for a nap and I have just enough time to film this before my third grader gets home. So it has been a little over a couple weeks since my last video and I have a lot of things to share with you. I have a couple finishes, a handful of whips, a few new starts. And I'm going to try to get through it kind of quickly today since, like I said, my kiddo is going to be home in less than an hour. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to mention. Part of the reason I have a bunch of whips is I joined a Facebook group called Fandom Stitching Central, which has a bunch of games going on all this year. The theme for the year is Disney, so all of the prompts are sort of related to Disney movies, but you don't have to stitch on Disney stuff to meet the prompts. And it was Natashia from Britches Get Stitches who informed me about this group, and it has been very motivating. So you can still join if you would like. They stay open all the time, I think. I just joined last month, and so yeah, I'm not gonna map my projects to the prompts that I did, but it has been very motivating to help me pull out some projects that weren't really on my radar necessarily, but that I was very happy to get progress on. And I learned about that from Natashia during a Zoom that I recently joined after making some new friends at Midsummer Stitch. So that was fantastic. I had a really good time joining the first Zoom. So yeah, I've tried to do some other Stitchy Zooms before and like they haven't worked out because of, you know, the other people in my house wanting to use the same space I'm using. But I had a nice time joining in with that group. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. But anyhow, okay. I think that's everything I wanted to mention. I do not have any fully finished objects today, so I am going to start on my two finishes. The first one I have to show you is my Pixie Lane. This was a free stitch along that came out in 5 parts from Pine Needles, Utah, which is an LNS that also has some designers. So we started with this first one is called Petunia's Parlor. This one was called, I think, the Shroom Room. This one is the Hive Dive. This one was the Nut Hut, and then finally was Fungus Farm, I think was the name of the last one. So I had this piece of like 6-inch band, and this just fit perfectly on it. I didn't even have to trim this down. And I'm thinking about finishing it into a drum. I've never done that before, so it will be an experiment. And it will be kind of a wide drum, because this, I think this is like 13.5 inches wide. So it won't be a little tiny drum, it will be a little bit chonky, but I think that would be cute. And I used most of the called for colors, and I did add some backstitch here and there because the white color that I was using, which was just DMC Blanc, was sort of blending in with my fabric. So like on the 2 mushroom, like the stems, I backstitched them just to make them show up a little bit. But yeah, this is super cute. And I went and checked on their website, and you can still like click on the different huts and just download them, I think. I don't know if all 5 of them are there, but if you're interested in this, go check out Pine Needles, Utah and see what you can find. Very fun and cute stitch. And then my other finish is a portion of a new chart from Amity at Boomerang Stitches, and the chart is called Freak for the Beak. And I decided, I stitched 2 birds, and as soon as I started it, I was kind of thinking I might just stitch those 2 and make a little pillow. So I'm calling this a finish. I will put a picture up of what the whole chart looks like. I recharted the whole thing in my own colors, which are sort of similar to Amity's, but I made them like the pink. I think hers were more like red and orange maybe, I don't remember. I did a full conversion, and I don't even think I used all of my colors in these two birds. And then on the chart, there's another cute little bird that's in between them, and I was thinking about doing him too, but I like just these two. So I'm going to finish this into a pillow. This is a 28 count linen from Kaylee at theSewingShop.ca. It is called Siren Song, and I just used this little bit of it, so I still have the rest of this big piece, which is washing out a little bit when I hold it up like that. It is more like this light aqua color. Sorry. So it's good for like a sky background or water, obviously Siren Song. And I might do some more of the birds from Freak for the Beak and make like a bunch of separate little pillows. I used this as my official entry for the Animal Weirdo sale hosted by Linguistic Stitches, and I also may have influenced her to do the same. So she stitched a different bird and is just calling it a finish with one of them as well, which I think is super fun. And Amity said she liked my color choices, so that's a win. Okay, so those are my two finishes, and next I'm going to get into my whips and new starts. I did not separate them out, so I'm just going to show them to you as I get to them. The first one, I showed this, I talked about it in my last video. This is Pisces by Nora Corbett, and let me show you what the chart looks like. In my last video, I had mentioned that I needed to stitch the second fish, and I think I said hashtag stitch the fish or something ridiculous. So I stitched the second fish, and I started the beading, as you can see. I did not have any of the beading done when I showed this last time, so I have done, put this behind. I've done about, like, I think I've done all of the cream colored beads that are on the dress and in the tails of the fish and up here in this little top part, and I think all the beads on the dress are done. And I started doing these that go around the whole frame, and I think I said before I was going to try to use the called for beads even though I changed the fish to be orange. Because, you know, I looked online and there are totally fish that are orange and blue that are real, that live in the ocean. So I was going to try to do leave the called for beads, but I did a couple fins on one of the fish and it just looked wonky, and one of the beads that are called for are like a little bit too big, which I'm really annoyed about because I'm using the called for fabric for this, which is 32 count Country French Cafe Mocha from Witch Help. So I got the exact called for fabric and it's still, the beads don't fit. And there's like, so I have these dark teal beads and then there's like two sort of medium teal colors that you can see here. Like this is one and then this is a different one. And these are bigger. They're supposed to be the same size, but they're definitely bigger and they don't fit as well. So the fish fins have like big chunks of beads all in the same place, and they just don't fit. So it looked stupid, and also I didn't like the colors, so I ordered some orange beads today actually, and I'm hoping that they will fit a little better and I can use those for the rest of the fins on the fish. I might leave the dark blue ones that I already put there that are in like the joints, but I also ordered dark orange, so I might switch them out. I don't think I've ever had to frog beads before, but it was really easy. So if you ever need to frog beads, don't worry about it, because it's easy to get like the seam ripper in and just get them out. So hopefully next time, if those orange beads are going to work, that one will be done. I've said that before, but I mean it this time. Okay, and then my next whip, I think this one I got out because of that fandom stitching group. There were prompts that this worked really well for. And this is my Farming Magic. This was a stitch along from Flossy Fox Shop a couple years ago now, and this is one that I forgot to pull out when I did my mid-year whip parade, but I do want to finish this year. So I think since you've seen it last these pumpkins and this puppy dog are new. This last bit of fence, there's this little chicken. He's not quite done yet, but he's new. And then I started the house. And there's also a flying creature up here that I just started. So I was just kind of going all over the place and trying to get my stitches in for the prompts. And I got this full pattern into Pattern Keeper just recently. Before, when the individual clues were coming out, I was not using Pattern Keeper, so now I feel like it can go a little bit faster because I can see everywhere. You know, the search function really helps with this, since there are a lot of little couple stitches here and there. And I'm doing this 2/2 on, I think this is a 32 count antique white Jobelin. And I am 68% done with this, so not too far off. Very happy project. I do want to try to get that done before it gets to be like cold outside. Okay, next, I think this one is a new start since last time. This is my, this is one of my Carolyn Manning bouquet collection round robin pieces. This is Honeybee Haven, and so this is the round robin that I'm doing with Justine, the Shaky Stitcher, Natashia from Britches Get Stitches, and then Brittany, who I don't think has a Flosstube, but I'll link her Instagram. And I had not started this last time, and now I'm almost done with my quarter of the chart. So I did the top, what is this? The top left, and I put this little thing on here so everyone else would know which side is the top, since it's 4 identical quadrants and it could be tricky to tell. I am doing this on a 16 count Kiss from a Rose Ada from Kaylee at the sewing shop. This fabric is sort of giving me a headache. It is beautiful, I love the color, but stitching on it is hurting my hands. And I got a ruler out and measured, and it's actually like 18.5 rather than 16, so it must have shrunk quite a bit during the dye process. And so I didn't really notice that until I was like halfway done. So I'm doing it 2/2 with the called for DMC, and the stitches are plump, and it's just like a little bit hard to get the needle through this fabric. So I think part of the reason that it's tough is because I'm doing this in hand and trying to do the sewing method. So I'm trying to go through like 2 layers at once, and pushing and pulling the needle through is like hurting the tip of my finger. But I think maybe if I put this in a frame and just did like a stab and pull method, it might be easier. Because the holes aren't like too small. It's just thick. It's a thicker Ada. So I hope my round robin buddies don't have problems with this. But yeah. And then I did want to say, when I looked at this chart, I saw a lot of purple, and I thought I was going to be stitching a lot of purple, but it's mostly green. There are 2 shades of purple. There's like the very dark plum, and then there's this like pale, I don't know if you can even tell. It's the color that sort of matches the fabric. And there's a couple blues, but it's mostly green. So, yeah, Justine sent a message to the group and was like, how's everyone doing? And she was almost done, and Brittany's like almost done, and I was like, ah. So I stitched a lot on this over the weekend and the beginning of the week. Okay. Next, I have my Monster House by Satsuma Street. This is an ongoing mystery stitch-along. Part 3 was released at the end of last week, and I got started on that. I have not finished part 3 yet, but I am still caught up with where I should be. And this is rolling. There we go. So part 1 was the skeleton and the cats in that entryway, and then part 2 had the wolf and that cute lantern and the headless horseman. I don't know if he's a horseman because he doesn't have a horse, but he's headless. So part 3 is this side. There are some ghosts on this little porch. And there's another tentacle starting to come up from the basement. So I love working on this one. The colors are so fun, and it's like blocky enough, the stitching, that it's not too fiddly. It's pretty easy to get a bunch of stitches done. Like these repeating patterns in the different parts of the house help. And this is on 28 count kiwi linen from Fiber on a Whim. And it is bright, like it is very bright. And so far, like there are some greens that are close to it, but they haven't caused any problems for me yet. So still very happy with that one. Next, I have to share with you my original Carolyn Manning design, the first one that I ever got and started that led me down the Carolyn Manning rabbit hole. This is Prairie Wind, which if you have been around, you have seen this a bunch, but this is a great project to work on during Zooms. So I worked on this during Midsummer Stitch, and I worked on it in my Lurker Zoom that I went to. And this one, interestingly, is also at about 68%, which is the same that my Farming Magic is. I think I finished another color since I showed it last. There's 8 colors left, and I was just sort of bouncing around and doing whatever I felt like. Alright, next I have to share with you my Herbalist stitch along from World on a String by Dara. This one is also, I'm staying current. This is an ongoing mystery stitch. I think there might only be one more clue left though. So last Monday, not this week, the week before, the final piece of the frame came out, which was this lavender. So like we started here and went down and around the frame and ended with beeswax and then lavender. And then this week on Monday, Dara released, there's like another little sneaky inner border here of just some chamomile blooms, I think is what they are. So we thought we were going to get the big reveal of what's in the center, but she was sneaky and gave us a little bit more border. So obviously I have not started that yet, but that should be quick. But yeah, this is very pretty. I love it. This is on a 32 count summer khaki linen from Witchelt. And I'm using all the code for DMC except the border color was actually charted to use a Weeks Dye Works, and I'm using Cottage Garden Threads in the color Conservatory for my variegated green. I love this. It's so pretty. I love the balance of the bright colors with all the greens. Those oranges and yellows really pop, and the purple. I love it. I love it. I love it. Can't wait to see what's in the center. Okay. Next I have my other round robin piece, which this one is with Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything. I always want to say Beck Gets Stitching, and that's, I don't know if that's even a thing. I don't know why I want to say that, but anyway, Beck Stitches Everything. Jill from Stitch and Books, and Jamie from Jamie Cruz, who I think was like one of the first people to ever comment on one of my YouTube videos. So here's where I am at. Like this one I started on the bottom right, so I still have to put my little stitches in to say which side is the top. But here's where I'm at with this one. So the border, like that is the full size of my quarter of this, and I just have to fill in the inside. And I don't know how far I am on this one. I mean, I don't know how many stitches are left because I do have this one in Pattern Keeper, but for the other one I like marked everything done except my quadrant, and this one I just started stitching. I didn't do that, so I don't know how many are left. But this one is on a 32 count, like sort of yellowy cream colored linen. I'm not sure what the color is or where it's from. But this one is much more pleasant to stitch on, just like fabric wise. So So yeah, I will be focusing on this once I get the Honeybee Haven done. Okay. And then I have a couple of new starts to share, and I think that that is the end. This one is the Halloween Quaker from Lila's Studio. I have the chart, but I don't know where it is right now, so I'll put up a picture. I'm sure you already know what it looks like. Everybody seems to know what this one looks like because they either stitched it already or they have it in stash. But I started this with Erin from Cozy Town Stitches and Alex from Salix Stitches on the 31st of July. And here's how far I got. So I did a bottom right start again, which I think is my new favorite place to start, and I realized is also where Alex always starts hers, so we started in the same spot. And I think I said before I was a little bit worried about this fabric with the orange. Like, I didn't want the orange to compete with the stitches, but so far I think it's going to be fine. And actually, like, right here you can see the background is competing a little bit with my stitches, but it's like a spooky night and witches are mysterious, so if the witches and these other little Halloweeny beasties are a little bit hard to see, then like that is on brand, right? That's how it should be. So I think this is 18 count, or maybe it's 16. Must be 16 because I'm doing 2 over 2. 16 count. This is Halloween from Witches Garden Crafts is what this fabric is, and I love it. Okay. Oh, and this is in the bag that Erin made for me from Cozy Town Stitches. Yeah, sorry. Super cute. Okay, and then I have one more new start to share, and that is Carnival by Jan Hicks Creates. And I started this on August 1st with Marjorie of Marjorie Made. She's hosting a stitch along called Summer Carnival Sal. And I think the model for this was stitch 1 over 1 on a 25 count even weave, and I decided to try mine 1 over 1 on a 28 count. So I did a center start, and I got that little center wheel done, and it has a little yellow in the middle. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, there you go, you can see. So these stitches are teeny, 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 and I just worked on it the one day, so the 1st of August, and I just wanted to show you the colors because they are so bright and fun. These are the called for DMCs, so there's a couple more that I have on bobbins, but they are bright, they are fun. There's lots of pink and other like bright rainbow colors. So I'm excited to work more on this, but I had like a frenzy of starting. I think I started 3 or 4 things in 3 or 4 days. Yeah, it was this and the Halloween Quaker for Quaker Ween Sal, Freak for the Beak from Amity, and what's the other thing that I started? Oh, Honeybee Haven, which was the round robin Carolyn Manning piece. So yeah, I think I started those all on back-to-back days, which is not the best plan because then I only work on them once, and it's harder to go back to them. And you know, sometimes like you start a bunch of stuff and you gravitate towards the one that was the most fun, but like all of these were really fun. Like I did not want to stop working on the Halloween Quaker, but I had been planning on starting Carnival for a while, ever since Jan Hicks released her chart, and then I was chatting with Marjorie about wanting to start it, so I was waiting patiently to start that one. And then yeah, I had to get on my round robin, so I'm excited to get back to all of these. I did go back and look through my list of whips that I sorted in my mid-year whip parade, where I tried to pick which ones I thought I could finish this year, and which ones I could not. And I think there were like 12-ish that I wanted to try to finish still, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 15 or 16. And I've finished 3 of them so far. And then Farming Magic is on that list, which is getting close, and Prairie Wind and Pisces from Nora Corbett. So I am still working on all those ones that I said I wanted to work on, despite starting all of these. And I am still planning on doing a crazy start-a-thon in October. So I have collected the patterns that I want to start, and I have put fabric with all of them. I haven't put floss with everything. And I even got a little, I have like a magnet board, and then I got a bunch of little magnet labels so I could put the projects on them and sort out like which ones are fully kitted, which ones just have fabric, which ones are already whips, because I am going to include my current Halloween whips. So I won't have 31 new starts, but I will hopefully have 31 different projects that I work on in October. And then I want to just totally copy what Handwork Maniac, what she does for Mania. So she has like a nice big poster board, and each year she keeps track of her Mania starts, and if she finishes those in the year, then that spot is open for a new start in the following May. Otherwise she works on the whip that she started on that day in a previous year. So like on the 15th, if her whip is still around from the 15th, she'll work on that on the 15th. But if she finished it, she gets a new start. So this is my like setup year for that. So some of the projects I've picked are small and I might be able to get done in a single day, and some of them are huge. Like right now, Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow is on the list. Also, I want to start, what is that? What is the name of that chart? Natashia from Britches Get Stitches just said she wanted to do a start along for the new Halloween chart from one of the I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm trying to check real quick. Yeah, it's from Crocetta Go-Go. I don't know how to pronounce that because it's Italian, and I actually tried to take Italian in college, and I didn't like the way that the teacher was trying to teach me. I took French for 4 years in high school, and my French teacher was kind of scary. She was like very strict and had very high expectations. And then this poor like teaching assistant who was teaching Italian for newbies in college, she wasn't doing it right. She wasn't doing it the way my French teacher did, so I dropped the class. So I don't know how to pronounce that. But it is that one. I'll put the name on the screen. And it's just called a Halloween Sampler, and it is gorgeous. I'll put a picture up. I absolutely love it. Like there's a lot of Halloween projects that I love, but this one, it just has all the right elements in all the right proportions, and it just looks magical and so much fun. So I would like to start that one. I think it starts on the 1st of October. I'll have to double check. I could be wrong. I think in my last video I said multiple dates that were wrong because I just confidently say things and then I don't know where they came from. Okay, and then I did want to mention a few Flosstubers that I have been watching that you could go check out if you're looking for somebody new. I don't remember if I've mentioned any of them before on my channel, but they're worth another mention if I have. So the first is Dara at Will the Woman Crafts. I had heard people like mentioning her channel, and it took me a long time to get around to watching it, and I absolutely love her channel. She seems like definitely a cool kid that I want to be friends with, so go watch Tara. She does a lot of like actual fully finishing, which, you know, I aspire to. I think I've still only fully finished a handful of things. You've seen them all. Another one is the Chinook Crafter, Michelle. So I have been following her for a long time on Instagram, but again, like had never gotten around to watching her YouTube videos for whatever reason, just because, I don't know, I click to go watch YouTube and I forget what I'm doing and I just watch whatever pops up. But yeah, I watched her most recent video she just put out, I think yesterday. So that was fun to catch up with her. I like her style, the projects that she picks. And then Eve of Queen V Crafts was also new to me. I think I might have caught one of her videos a while ago, but I watched her again because I got to meet her at the Midsummer Stitch and had fun laughing with her in one of the rooms late one night when everyone was a little giddy, having a good time. So her channel is like super calming to listen to. If you need a chill moment, you can check her out. And then Jill of Stitch and Books, who I mentioned before, who's in one of my round robins with me. She just did the Stitch the Summer Olympics with the Naptime Stitcher, and she has so many super like elegant, beautiful projects. One in particular that I really love is this Italian lemons piece that she's doing. It's so pretty. Like, it has an intricate border and it's got these giant lemons, and it's so like bright and happy. And she has like a rough goal to get it done before she goes to Italy, I think sometime in the next year for a wedding. So yeah, I'm curious to see how far she will get on that. And I really like her channel too. She stitches on, yeah, like just the most gorgeous things. Like, she has very good taste. She's also super into thrifting and has a lot of cool thrift finds from her travels and stuff. So check Jill out if you haven't yet. They will all be listed below in the description. So aside from that, I mentioned my Halloween starts. I think I'm going to do like a Flosstube extra and just go through everything I'm planning on doing and sort of show you my system that I have, if that would be interesting to you. I'm trying to decide if I should do that sooner or wait a little bit closer to October. So if you have any opinions, let me know what you think. And other than that, I hope the end of summer is treating you well. I hope you're getting time to stitch on things that make you happy. And I hope you're taking care of yourself. See you next time. Thank you.